How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Asshat Podcast on YouTube. Got another comic here. This is issue 193 of Uncanny X-Men, special double size issue, $1.25. Gala 100th anniversary issue of the all new, all different X-Men. It's from May of 1985. That's what I thought. Okay. Real simple. The reason I picked this, and this is not my original, I've sadly lost it over the years. Back in the day, I started reading X-Men around the time Kitty Pryde first appeared, which I might show that issue one day. I've got a couple copies of it. Well, I'd pick it up at the newsstand or the comic shop when I could make it over there, but I couldn't make it to the comic shop every month, and they would sell it. X-Men was popular, so I got a mail order subscription through Marvel to 3 titles one year for my birthday or Christmas. It was one of the two. One of the titles was Muppet Babies. Huge Muppet Babies fan, still am. Excuse me. Love the comic, love the cartoon. The next one was G.I. Joe. Back in the day, big fan of the comic. I went back and reread it. It's not as good as I remembered it being, but it's still not bad. For a toy-based comic, it's probably one of the better ones from Marvel. The other one was X-Men. This was the first issue I got in. I remember I come home from school. Mom asked me to check the mail. Go out and check the mail, and this was in there. And back then, they were mailed in a brown paper sleeve. Now, this issue is highly beat up, and I'm going to show you the back. Look, the back cover's missing a piece. I got this from the local comic shop just because a few years ago, I was doing comic reviews. I had somebody, one of the local people in town. I've known this family for quite a while. I used to work for them. The head of the family likes reading my blog. She likes just seeing what I got to talk about, because even though she ain't in the comics and stuff, she says I make it entertaining. Well, she told me, I started off doing book reviews. For every book review I did, she'd donate X amount of dollars to help rebuild, at the time, a bunch of tornadoes that tore through Louisiana and Mississippi and destroyed a bunch of libraries. And her and I are both big into reading. She's like, I'll donate money to help rebuild them. Okay, cool. Well, then the next year I did comics. Well, when I was doing them, I got a message from, and I'll go ahead and say his name, one of my favorite independent wrestlers based in the state of Mississippi, Lucas Ross. He sent me a message like, hey, man, hey, brother, would you do some X-Men stuff? Then Lucas and I are about the same age, and we read, he's big, and he's actually trying to collect G.I. Joe, but he read the X-Men stuff, so I did this one. I picked 3 issues of Uncanny X-Men to do. I picked this one, and then, because this was the first of when I started reading it, I made sure I got it every month, because I subscribed to Uncanny X-Men from issue 193 to issue 300. A long run there. So, let's see here. Now, not anything about this. This is the... Okay, I gotta get tech on. Okay, the first comic appearance of Firestar, who first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends cartoon, was in a comic book adaptation, one episode of that. I can't remember what the title of the comic was. That's not in continuity. Her first actual appearance was in the Firestar miniseries. This is her next appearance. So we got Firestar over here fighting Rogue. That's how Rogue looks in the comics, people, back then. We got Nightcrawler. We got one of the Hellions, but I don't know what her name is. There's another one over here. That's Empath, if I remember right. This is the original Thunderbird's little brother, who last time I saw was known as Warpath. Taking on Wolverine, and we got Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat here. And up in the corner, we got the team heads. We got Cyclops, Storm. This is after Storm lost her powers. Wolverine, Shadowcat, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Rogue. So we got Chris Claremont and John Romita Jr. and Dan Green as artists. Tom Aransky, I've never been able to say, as a letterer. The colorist is Gilnis Oliver, and Ann Nocenti is the editor, and Jim Shooter's editor-in-chief. As I said, this was May 85. Cloak and Dagger ad, which is kind of neat, because there's a Cloak and Dagger series starting in June on ABC Freeform. And this is after Professor X has gotten the hell beat out of him by some anti-mutant people. And he was walking at the time. He gained the ability to walk again. He got taken down in the sewers, and Callisto, who's the head of the Morals at the time, got the healer to heal him up. And yeah, as a fairly young child, I was subjected to seeing Professor X done up in black leather bondage gear. I see, more. And this issue kind of ties into the Mutant Massacre, which to me is the start of the end of the X-Men for me. You see Thunder coming back with the kids. Annalee's kids, somebody shot them. Cal murdered them in cold blood. And that leads into the Mutant Massacre storyline, which so well Marvel's like, hey, we're going to put a big crossover in X-Men every few months, and you got to buy all these titles, and you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to quit reading. There's Firestar. And this is decent Romita Jr. artwork. I'm not the biggest John Romita Jr. fan, even though he's not actually technically not a junior. Him and his father do not share the same middle name. But, because there was already, you know, and his first name is John, his last name is Romita, and his dad already worked with him. He became JR. I prefer this art. I prefer actually his stuff before this to this art, and I prefer this art to what he does now. His stuff now is just so blocky and boxy looking. Another Aphoresis pieces with this bootleg ET alien. And we got, you know, the X-Men with Cannonball, the New Mutants, and they're testing out his powers in the Danger Room. I always loved the Danger Room stuff. Bonkers ad. And I love this. Professor X shows up through a doorway they didn't even know about in the Danger Room. And if you'll excuse me, cute outfit, sir. Sigh. And they're all laughing about Professor X dressed up in his little bondage gear there. And there's Storm. Now, I've always heard rumors that Chris Claremont, his favorite character was Storm, and he had, like, kind of fetishized her. There's stories of, now this is just rumors and innuendo and speculation that he would, at conventions, would pay cosplayers to dress up as Storm, or hookers, or whatever you want to call them. And I'm not saying all cosplayers are hookers, and there's a separation, cosplayers or hookers, to dress up as Storm and beat him with their hair. Just stories I've heard. Not saying they're true, just shit I've heard. Well, they end up, look, we got Rachel Summers now, who I think she goes by Rachel Gray. This is Cyclops and Marvel Girl's daughter from an alternate timeline. One of my favorite X-Men characters. And actually, at this time when I was reading this series, my favorite characters was Kitty Pryde, Nightcrawler, Rachel, and Wolverine. That's why when Excalibur started, I jumped ship to Excalibur really quick. And see how many panels these pages had? You know, this is not that long. 85 is not super, super long. That's what? 20, you know, 30-ish year, a little bit over 30 years ago. And you can see the issue's got water damage and all that, but I bought it just to have another copy because I'd lost mine, and the only copy I had of this was the Marvel Essentials reprint in black and white, and I just had to have it. And when I found it, plus, like I said, the guy mentioning it, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And we got some really, I like this artwork of Wolverine fighting Warpath, because this is back when people don't seem to realize that, because Hugh Jackman's a fairly tall guy. Wolverine's supposed to be short. He's supposed to be like 5'4", supposed to be a little bitty guy. And get Kitty using her powers. I'm noticing not a lot of ads in this for a double-size issue. That's $1.25. That's actually a pretty good deal. Rogue throwing Colossus for the fastball special, so Colossus throwing whoever for it. That's kind of neat. Snicked! Not snicked, snicked. And basically the whole storyline is Thunderbird 2, Warpath, is after Professor X because he blames him for his brother's death, which it wasn't Professor X's fault. It was his brother was just headstrong. Not the song by Trapped, which I just learned that was by Trapped recently. And he's getting ready to kill him. He drops a knife. And eventually, as you know, that character became part of X-Force and went on there. Lockheed. Kitty's little dragon. And we get an epilogue here, which leads into Nimrod coming soon. And this is where somebody, I don't know why this part's cut. I don't know. But, yeah, hey, old X-Men issue. Didn't pay that much for it. I think I probably paid about $1. Worth it to me. In that comic shop, if you're in the Brookhaven, Mississippi area, look for Heroes Haven. They have, go through their cheap bins. They have a bunch of pre-crossover madness Uncanny X-Men issues in their cheap bins for $1 a piece. And usually the guy's pretty good about it. If you're buying a good amount, he'll cut you a deal. He'll drop them down to 75 cents a piece, you know. Worth picking up. So if you enjoyed the video, remember, give me that thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe. Talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.